Russell Westbrook, at 36, just locked down LeBron James in a crucial Lakers matchup. The same Westbrook who LA pushed aside is now their nightmare, shooting better from three than Klay Thompson this season. But here's the real shocker. Nikola Jokic, the NBA's most reserved superstar, made his first ever front office request: "Get me Russell Westbrook." How did the league's most criticized star become Denver's secret weapon? It's a story of reinvention that's changing the game. Hit subscribe to unlock more untold NBA stories that are reshaping basketball as we know it. Let's rewind to 2017. Westbrook had just made history. 42 triple-doubles, an MVP trophy, and the entire NBA at his feet. But in a quiet moment, NBA legend Oscar Robertson pulled him aside with a warning that would prove eerily accurate. They'll turn on you. Even when you give everything, they'll still blame you for the losses. And turn they did. The numbers tell the brutal story. 5 teams in 4 years. His shooting percentage plummeted from 45% to under 40%. The explosive drives that once terrorized defenses, down from 19 per game to just 7. Washed up, liability, past his prime. The headlines were relentless. Then came the Lakers chapter, basketball's equivalent of a perfect storm. In Los Angeles, everything unraveled. Westbrook, the former MVP, got benched in fourth quarters. The same explosive style that won him an MVP now had fans covering their eyes. But here's what everyone missed. Even during those dark Lakers days, Westbrook ranked in the top 10 for assists. His defensive rating? Better than half the league's starting guards. The narrative wasn't telling the whole story. To understand how Westbrook went from Lakers scapegoat to Denver's missing piece, we need to look at what Jokic saw that nobody else did. While the basketball world was writing Westbrook's career obituary, something unexpected was brewing in Denver. The defending champions had just lost key pieces of their championship puzzle. Bruce Brown's hustle plays, KCP's lethal three-point shooting. A combined 45% from deep just walked out the door. Then came the moment that shocked the NBA. Nikola Jokic, the guy who'd rather be with his horses than in management meetings, marched into the front office. His request wasn't for a sharpshooter or a young talent. He wanted Russell Westbrook. This wasn't just surprising, it was downright puzzling. Their history wasn't exactly friendly. Westbrook and Jokic had their share of heated battles, trash talk, and stare-downs. But Jokic saw something beyond the drama. "I know who he is outside the court," Jokic said at Media Day. "Great teammate, vocal leader, someone you want to follow." Coming from the NBA's most unselfish superstar, these words carried weight. The analytics crowd called it risky. Basketball Twitter called it crazy. After all, Denver's flowing offense seemed like oil to Westbrook's water. The Nuggets had just lost 2 40% three-point shooters, and they're replacing them with a career 30% shooter. But here's what made this different from Westbrook's previous stops. For the first time since leaving Oklahoma City, he wasn't expected to be the savior. No pressure to be the old Russ. Just a clear role in a winning system. And for the first time, we saw Westbrook willing to completely reimagine his game. Under Denver's system, Westbrook has transformed from wild card to tactical weapon. Sharing the court with Jokic, his shooting efficiency has jumped to 50%, with 65% of his shots now coming within 10 feet of the basket. His defensive evolution tells an even more compelling story. Westbrook's perimeter defense has leaped from the 47th to 82nd percentile, while holding top guards to just 41% shooting. He's averaging more deflections than any guard over 35 in NBA history. The Jokic-Westbrook pairing has become statistically elite. Their plus 12.4 net rating leads all Western Conference backcourts. Fast break points surge 24% with Westbrook on the floor, while his turnover rate has dropped to a career-low 2.8 per game. The league's supposed liability has become an analytics darling in the NBA's most sophisticated offense. What do you get when you pair basketball's master conductor with one of its most explosive athletes? Pure basketball alchemy. Jokic's unique gravity creates highways where Westbrook once found walls. When defenders collapse on Jokic in the post, Westbrook isn't just standing around, he's weaponizing those gaps. Their two-man game has produced 1.28 points per possession, ranking in the NBA's top 98th percentile. The synergy extends beyond basic pick and roll. Westbrook has mastered the art of reading Jokic's no-look passes. His scoring efficiency off Jokic's assists? A staggering 64%. For context, that's higher than any guard-center duo in the league. Spacing, long considered Westbrook's kryptonite, suddenly isn't an issue. Jokic's gravitational pull creates clean driving lanes. The result? Westbrook's paint touches have doubled, while his contested shot attempts have been cut in half. On fast breaks, they've developed an almost telepathic connection. Jokic's outlet passes find Westbrook in full stride, unleashing chaos on backpedaling defenses. The Nuggets now score within the first 8 seconds of possession 38% more often than last season. The chemistry shows up in clutch moments too. In games within 5 points in the final 5 minutes, the Westbrook-Jokic lineup boasts a plus 22.4 net rating. They're not just winning, they're dominating when it matters most. Most telling? Under Jokic's influence, Westbrook's decision-making has evolved. His assist-to-turnover ratio has jumped to 3.2 to 1, the best mark of his 16-year career. Sometimes the best way to reinvent yourself is to play alongside someone who sees the game differently. Dark clouds are gathering over this feel-good story. Jamal Murray's return looms large, the same Murray who carried Denver to playoff glory. The minutes will shrink. The rotations will change. Westbrook's role? It's about to face its biggest test. History hasn't been kind to former superstars adjusting to bench roles. Just ask Carmelo Anthony or Allen Iverson. The second unit is a different animal. Less structure, fewer minutes to find rhythm, younger players to mentor. The playoff picture adds another layer of complexity. Teams will have time to game plan. They'll test Westbrook's shot selection, dare him to shoot, try to bait him into old habits. Every possession will be a mental battle between new Russ and muscle memory. But Denver's championship hopes might actually hinge on Westbrook's evolution. Their bench scoring ranks 28th in the league. Murray's return could shift Westbrook into a sixth-man role, exactly what the second unit needs. A floor general who can maintain Jokic's offensive principles while adding his own explosive twist. At 36, Westbrook is rewriting the playbook on career reinvention. From league MVP to elite role player, he's joined an exclusive club. Only 6 players in NBA history have successfully made this transition. His impact goes deeper than statistics. Young players study his defensive reads, veterans analyze his off-ball movement, and the same intensity that once divided opinions now unites the locker room. In Denver, they don't see the polarizing figure from ESPN debates. They see a basketball savant who traded star power for team success. The triple-double king is proving that basketball IQ can replace raw athleticism. One question remains. Will this unlikely partnership deliver another championship to Denver? Westbrook's Denver chapter reminds us why we love basketball. Sometimes the greatest victories come from being willing to change. A former MVP becoming a role player. A solo artist learning to play in the orchestra. The game evolves, and those who evolve with it write the most interesting stories. Russell Westbrook in Denver isn't just a comeback story, it's a masterclass in reinvention. What's your take? Has Westbrook finally found his perfect basketball home in Denver? Drop your thoughts below, and if this story of basketball evolution caught your attention, you won't want to miss our breakdown of how another NBA star completely transformed their game. Hit subscribe, and let's keep these basketball conversations rolling.